Thank you for checking out this video and tuning into this episode of Airsoft Cloner, where we take a look at some of the most epic firearm setups seen in movies, TV shows, video games, military history and pop culture, and break down in nerdy detail what exactly makes them unique and interesting, and how to put together an accurate Airsoft replica covering multiple options across different budget tiers. In this episode, we're going to take a look at one of recent history's most ever-growing popular clinker, a gun that, despite its late growing popularity among special forces, civilians, and having been featured in several video games, is seemingly underrepresented in the airsoft world, even though widely fondly appreciated by the community. This is, of course, none other than the Aac/Q Honey Badger. The Honey Badger was designed and developed by Advanced Armament Company to basically be an MP5 SD killer, a weapon that is silent but deadly, versatile, and retains the AR-15's ergonomics and manual of arms for ease of training. It took a lot of innovation and was developed alongside AAC's new bullet, the 300 Blackout, which is in essence a 30 cal projectile shoved into a 5.56 cartridge case, allowing it to be loaded into an AR-15 sized magazine and receiver, making for a small but lethal package. The 300 Blackout's heavy projectile allows for it to be fired subsonic, eliminating the crack of the bullet flying through the air, giving a similar report to the 9mm MP5, but with a much more aerodynamic projectile that retains energy for longer and remains more deadly. Couple that with the ability to supercharge the rounds to supersonic speeds as well, meant magazines containing either could be carried and switched out when needed. The weapon was perfectly suited to quiet nighttime sneaky raid missions, as well as the getaway when things get hairy outside en route to extraction and more range and reach for weapons is required. The Honey Badger was AAC's host for the new round, and has seen use amongst special forces units around the world, although it's near impossible to find any photographs of it. The gun is made to be suppressed with a very short barrel. It also has a receiver design that allows an MP5 styled stock to collapse into it while minimizing extending any width, keeping it short and small for concealability. The short barrel had a fast twist rate to help stabilize the bullet and maintain accuracy. It's also constructed out of high quality, high tech materials that make it much lighter than any other carbine or SMG competitors. It also sports a very flashy finish, a honey golden receiver with light grey furniture. Beautiful, looks fantastic, and all in all it's a pretty genius design. The guy who invented it all went on to continue to improve and redesign the Honey Badger, as well as many more firearms within the same family under the brand name Q, and branch into the civilian market as well. In Airsoft, neither the AAC nor the Q Honey Badgers are actually very well represented. Not anywhere near a level where the demand might suggest that they should be, and I'm not really sure why. Now, I know, before some of you come at me with what about the Ares Amoeba Honey Badger AEGs and the G&G CQB PDW and the WE Gas Blowback Honey Badger. No. Just no. Ugh. So in this one we're going to break it down a little differently. We're going to look at what options sort of do or have existed already, and then talk about why they aren't really any good as a proper Honey Badger. We'll also look at what is out there and what's good to use as a base point, and then how to customize and tweak it so it's a bit closer to the real deal. So to kick it off, the absolute closest spot-on option to the actual Q Honey Badger is the CNC TAC MWS kit for the Tokyo Marui M4 GBBR system. But good luck finding one. As far as I can tell, discontinued, very limited, very expensive, unobtainium, no chance really. WeTech make a GBBR and an AEG that I believe they call the Honey Badger, but it ain't. It's just a really short M4 with a really short suppressor and a sort of PDW stock. It's all a standard M4 looking receiver. Really, the Honey Badger needs that uniquely designed receiver and stock. You know, the one that Noveski sort of eyeballed over their shoulder. But without this, it can't really be a true Honey Badger. Otherwise, my 416C would also count as one. And I wouldn't be able to justify building a Honey Badger out for myself if that was the case. So anything sporting an alternative PDW stock on a standard receiver with a short barrel and suppressor, it just doesn't qualify. So sorry WE, it's not a Honey Badger. Honestly, if you just want a wall hanger, just buy and paint a Honey Badger gel blaster. They're actually kind of cool. They have an electric blowback gearbox and look much closer than the Airsoft alternative to the actual Honey Badger. The AAC variant at least. They're also kind of cheap. We'll get onto how to paint it to make it look like the Q Honey Badger or AAC Honey Badger a little bit later. Airsoft AEG wise, yes. There's the G&G PDW CQB, as well as the Ares, Amoeba, AM 13, 14 and 15 models. They all include some strange, air quote, creative liberties, including weird bulky bits and lines and reinforcement and gross, cringe, speed softy crap that ruins the whole sleek, flashy Honey Badger vibe. I think the one thing they do have that's pretty cool is the handguard and stock are closer to the actual AAC/Q designs. The G&G being more similar to the first AAC Honey Badger prototype. The Ares rocking something similar to the Q-cert stuff seen on their later firearms like the Fix. Double Eagle have an offering that's almost spot on to the Q. It's just the dimensions of certain parts and the finish options ruin it. And ruin it a fair bit. The stock is just way too big and bulky, and it just makes it look strange. Like, I get that they've considered people having bigger batteries, but so many small LiPo battery options exist now. It's really not a good enough reason to change the form factor of the gun as much as it does. The trigger guard is closer to that of the Q Honey Badger, but then the handguard looks almost too slim. Skirmishability wise, it's probably the best base gun to go with if you want an AEG, just because it's the most modern and up to date in terms of its features and electronics. But it's not quite Carling. The closest thing to the AAC Honey Badger, the production version, featured in Call of Duty and Ghost and Modern Warfare and etc., is strangely enough an offering from Nupro. Yes, Nupro, that beginner gun brand. And it kind of is a beginner gun. It's a lot of plastic. It's got a plastic receiver, but so does the Ares, and that is kind of leaning towards the lightweight design of the real deal Honey Badger, being engineered to be much lighter than its counterpart. So the plastic isn't a write-off. It has a trigger guard that's a bit more correct to the AAC Honey Badger, unlike the Ares, which is so gross. It has a much more compact stock, which might mean battery options are tight, but what's the priority here, really? It definitely looks much better. The suppressor and rail look good. The rail handguard is the same sort of Q-cert / Geisley super modular rail type as the Ares, as is the stock and the internals, because it's a collaboration between Ares and Nupro, almost like Nupro saw what they were doing and said, that's gross, let's make it look better and more like the actual thing, and then did. Really, this just needs that flashy paint job. Let's look at these two AEG options and how to improve them, starting with the double eagle. Really, we just need to swap out the stock. The stock can be done either by modding a Noveske Ghetto Blaster GBBR one to fit somehow, or by acquiring the APS Space Invader one. However, I think the only way to do either of those is to buy the other complete guns as well. You can't find the stock anywhere, not even on their website. It definitely ramps up the budget. It may also be possible to 3D print a correct size stock. It has been done and can be seen in the depths of Reddit. Designs can be found on various file sharing websites. Note, the Q stock has a larger, sort of different sized release buttons to the AAC. But either way, once the stock is replaced, the Double Eagle will have a much better looking, more accurate form factor. The new Pro resembles more the original Aac Honey Badger, with its slightly chunkier handguard rail that overlaps the suppressor slightly, whereas the Double Eagle has the more of the updated Q version with the slightly different trigger guard, widening the area, slimmer tapered edged handguard, and the cherry bomb-like muzzle device, the device at the end of the Q Honey Badger that's capable of quick attaching their suppressors. The Double Eagle one doesn't come with a suppressor, and Aac do produce Q silencer replicas to a high quality for airsoft. Once you decide which route to go, and have swapped out everything you want to improve the overall aesthetic, accuracy to the real deal, get some paint. Double coats of primer is a must. Make sure it's clean and dry and free from any grease or oil beforehand. Disassemble it, don't just tape it off. We're doing different colours, so you're going to want them to be painted separately. Leave it to dry between coats, then get a nice champagne gold on the receiver, and then a nice textured grey on the handguard and stock. If you want to really add some extra, go for a darker coat of grey over the cheek rest area of the stock, and then rose gold on the trigger, and if you went with the Double Eagle, on the cherry bomb. Then give the receiver a clear coat to help protect the stock rail slots from getting scratched up and chipped by the stock, by collapsing and opening the stock. Put it all back together and you have a fine looking replica, minus that fat Q logo on the side, which can be remedied with a sticker or paint or laser marking. The Honey Badger's main alternative is definitely the Noveske Ghetto Blaster. They use a similar rail, the same receiver, stock, trigger, muzzle, device and suppressors as the Q. These are very accessible at the moment in Airsoft as MWS based GBBR rifles, either from Double Eagle again, or slightly higher quality kits from Aac for also the MWS based platform. If you want something like a Honey Badger but easy and aren't bothered about the Q logo or the colour, especially as a GBBR, go for the Ghetto Blaster instead. Alright, this series wouldn't be the series if we didn't do a Money is No Object Tier 1 baller build. So let's have at it. We're going to start with the Aac MWS kit for the Ghetto Blaster. Pre-installs as a complete gun can be found for around like £600 posted roughly. We will need it Cerakoted, but first we're going to fill in the trademarks with a thin layer of some kind of two-part putty or filler or something that will still accept the Cerakote finish once it's dry and sanded smooth and flat. We'll then have the Q logo engraved on the right side of the magwell. We'll also remove the dust cover and sand off the ears that hold the rod for the dust cover in place as the Q does away with them. We'll then buy the handguard stock and grip from Q. Get the real parts and use them instead of the Airsoft parts. They're expensive and we're assuming they're shipped to the UK here. But what even is money at this point? The rail kit's about £250, the stock is about £300. Neither are actually that bad, really. That's not as expensive as I'd have thought. The pistol grip is a little Magpul MOE K grip available from places like Brownells for around £30. We then need a CNC Tac Q silencer. There's a few options. The Trash Panda is a popular one, but I personally would go for the stubbier Rex MG7, seeing as the Jumbo Shrimp isn't really findable anymore. Creative names, right? The Rex comes in a beautiful finish, as well as with another cherry bomb muzzle brake, so you know it's all going to fit. Then grab an optic that will fit the bill, something like a Holosun or an EOTech. Send that receiver off to get Cerakoted, about another 200 quid, and you're looking around £2,700 for everything. And bam, there we have it. The current available options for honey badgers in Airsoft. Hopefully more are on the horizon and more companies cash in on this opportunity that is otherwise missed, because the demand for a good quality Airsoft honey badger, especially an AEG one that's accurate and looks much like the Q honey badger in real life, would be massive. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. You are the best. Don't forget to check out the links in the pinned comment and the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page and to my merch store, where you can support the channel further if you wish. Otherwise, like and subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of the video, and let me know any other firearms from TV, movies, video games, history and pop culture that you want to see covered on the channel next. Once again, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.